Welcome back to another Tasty Tuesday with Tracy and my two beautiful daughters, my little chefs. This is Stella and our Evelyn, right? One of my favorite things is cooking in the kitchen with my girls. And one of the things we wanted to make for you today was something that I have just loved making so much the last few months. It's something I'm like, I definitely need to share this recipe because I think we all love to put jam on our toast, right? But the unfortunate thing about jam is there's always a ton of sugar in it. Even homemade jams, we definitely have more control over what's in them, right? We make sure we have all those fresh berries and not all the preservatives and things, and corn syrup and other stuff that's often put into those store-bought jams. But even with, say, a good freezer jam, which is my favorite because of the fresh flavor of them, there's still a lot of sugar in them, right? So when I came across the chia seed jam, well, this won me over big time for a lot of reasons, but I'm excited to share this recipe with you. I hope you guys enjoy it too. This is one I actually adapted a little bit from the Oh She Glows blogger. She's awesome. Angela, if you don't follow her, I would definitely recommend it if you want to follow somebody that has fabulous, delicious recipes that all of her recipes are vegan and very healthy recipes. So definitely go check her out. The one we're making today is going to be a berry. So what hers was a raspberry jam. And what I love is I actually like to do a mix. We found when we did this mix of berries with the blueberries and everything in it, it was even better. But Stella, what else can you make instead of berries?
Apricot jam.
That's right. So recently we took a trip down to St. George, Utah, where my parents live, and we had such fun playing with them, especially going to their orchard. And they had all these fresh apricots growing on their trees. So we were able to bring home a bunch of those and experimented with this recipe and made some fabulous apricot chia jam, right? So that's the fun thing about it. You can have fun, try different summer fruits in it, a lot that you have on hand. And now is definitely the time to do that. You can make this fresh, you can even freeze it. So, take advantage of the summer fruit sales, getting it fresh, and making some super healthy jam. So here's the cool thing about the chia. Because of the chia seeds, you don't have to have any kind of thickener. It will actually thicken it for you. But the other awesome thing about chia seeds is they add a whole load of nutrients as well to the jam for you. So healthy omega fats, for instance, iron, fiber, calcium, magnesium, all fabulous things to add to our diet. Even some great protein. Chia is a great source of plant protein. Okay, so the other best part about this, super simple, right? We're all busy. We don't want to spend a ton of time in the kitchen. So, yeah, berries, right? So what we're starting out with, the recipe calls for 3 to 4 cups of frozen or fresh berries. So what I have here is we actually like to double the recipe because that is going to give you about, a little more than a cup of jam. We go through it pretty quick, right? So what I like to do is I'll double it and then I'll throw one jar in the freezer that it's ready to go. We just pull it out and thaw it when we are going through the last of our jar that we have. So I'm going to be doubling it, but this recipe calls for 3 cups of frozen or fresh berries, and then 1/4 cup, well, actually it calls for 3 tablespoons. So it depends, again, you can adjust the sweetness to your liking, right? Because obviously fruit can vary in sweetness. So 3 tablespoons is what the original recipe calls for. Sometimes we'll up that you'll add an extra tablespoon, so 1/4 cup. And you want to use pure maple syrup. So that's what I love is, again, it's using a natural sweetener. It's not corn syrup or the super refined sugars that you'll find in a lot of times in our jam. And then our chia seeds, of course, 2 tablespoons of that, and a 1/2 teaspoon of
Vanilla.
That's right. Add a little vanilla in there. And that's it, folks. Super easy. So what we're going to do is we'll take it over to the stove. I've already had measured out my berries. We're doubling it, like I said. So we've got 6 cups of berries in here. And I love this mix. Definitely if you can, get organic berries because they're one of the highest when it comes to pesticides. So if you can get organic, if you have to pick and choose, your berries are one you definitely want to try and do organic. So I love this blend called the Very Berry Burst Blend that we find this one at Costco. Okay, so we head on over. We're going to actually, 4 cups of this. Let's have Stella, we can go ahead and put this in now. This is also a pure maple syrup that we get. A lot of times we like to get this one from Costco. So if you will add, we're actually doing a 1/3 cup. So the regular recipe calls for 3 tablespoons. Since we're doubling it, we'll do a 1/3 cup. So go ahead and pour that in with our berries. So this is how you start out your berries and your maple syrup. Go ahead and mix it into a nice, good size saucepan. We're going to take this over to the stove. We're going to mix that together and start heating it up for about, it depends. Like if they're fresh, it's not going to take as long, right? Which we're really trying to do is kind of starting to get it to break down. So about 5 to 8 minutes, we're going to heat it on low to medium over the stove. All right. Okay, so we brought our saucepan over here with our berries. We've started cooking them down a little bit. So you just want to do it long enough and low enough that they're simmering, but not cooking all the good stuff out of the berries, right? But we want to get them nice and soft so that we can mash it down and puree it. So we've kind of got them to a point that we want to start doing that. Yes, Stella, did you want to say something?
So you see all the liquid in here. When you first put it in, there's just a little bit. That's the maple syrup. But once you get more of it, you can see when it gets a little higher, that means it's getting more cooked, like.
Right, so the juices are coming out of them,
Yes.
right? That's why it's getting a little more liquidy. And, never fear, that's okay, because once we put in the chia seeds, it's going to really help to thicken it up, right? Okay, so great job on that. Why don't you put that to the side, and let's start mashing up. So sometimes a potato masher is sufficient, but on some of these big strawberries, we find if you want them a little more pureed, obviously it's to your liking. I like having a little bit of fruit chunks in my jam. So, keep going. Stella, you're doing great. Just keep mashing down, baby. If you need some help, let me know. If it's not quite getting there. You can also, if that doesn't, sometimes we'll use like, what do you call this, a pastry cutter, I guess? Sometimes we'll use a pastry cutter to really kind of break up those berries. Is that what you're going to try now?
Yeah.
Okay. Just be careful. It's going to be popping up a little bit. I don't want you to get burned by the steam or the juice coming up. Okay, so we're going to start mashing that up nice. So all we have in there right now is the berries and the maple syrup, right? We're going to be, once we've got it all mashed up, then we're going to add in the chia seeds and let it heat on the stove for a little bit longer. Okay, as you can see, we've got our berries nice and pureed, but still, I love that there's still like some whole blueberries and bits of berry in there. Okay, so now, Stella, let's go ahead and add in your chia seeds. Great job. Okay, you can go ahead and mix those in for us.
It's also so fun to watch the bubbles just come through the cheese.
Yes, it is. You can hear my Evelyn playing with her marbles in the background. You having fun, baby? Good. Okay. Now, once we've got the chia seeds in there, nice and mixed in, we're going to want to keep an eye on that. Continue to stir it frequently for another, 5 minutes or so. And if you find that they're starting to stick to the bottom already, you can just turn down the heat a little bit. All right. So now we're at the point where we can add in our vanilla. We have taken... Stella's going to add it in for us, right? Half teaspoon of pure vanilla.
Smells so good.
It does, doesn't it? We have taken it off of the heat on the stove. We let it go for about 5 to 8 minutes. I know some do a little bit longer, but really the whole point is you just want it to kind of start to thicken on the stove, and then you can pull it off. And, as it's cooling, it's going to thicken even more. But I like to do a little less time because obviously I don't want to overheat my fruit as much as possible. And now that we have our vanilla all mixed in, we're going to go ahead and put this baby in the fridge so that it can cool down. You could even, if you want it to cool down even faster, put it in your freezer for a little bit. But we're just trying to chill it before we put it into our jars, so obviously we don't crack our jars. Okay, now that your jam has cooled, you can go ahead and put it into your jars. When I doubled it, so it made for us a full pint jar and then almost a second full pint. So we probably got about 3 cups worth out of it. So we're gonna throw it in the freezer and get digging into the next one. We're gonna dig into the first one. Here we go. Go ahead and grab your piece still.
Okay.
All right, let's try it out. Still a little warm, but super tasty, huh? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll add the recipe for you guys in the description. But I'm excited to hear what you think. Try it out. Experiment a little bit if you want a little more maple syrup in there. Mix it up with different kinds of fruit, right? And you can feel good about adding this awesome jam to your toast, to your sandwiches. That'll be good on top of ice cream. And like a yogurt parfait or something. So many options. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this.
It'll also make the cheesecake. If you have a cheesecake and the berry size, you could use that.
Fabulous ideas. See, possibilities are endless. All right, hope you guys have a great day.